Serial Experiments Lain, episode 4. Of course, you guys know what to do. I'm going to start the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Present time, ha 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 ha. Who are you? Why is Lane in my TV? Or, well, computer in this instance. Weird people are hanging around, dressed up weird like they're from Men in Black. Lane herself, personality is off the chain. It's a completely different person, apparently, sometimes. Like there at the end of last episode, that was like an extremely different person. Not what you would expect Lane usually to be like. Or at the very least, the Lane that we as the audience know of. And it does look like the other Lane is very well known within the Wired. I suppose that's also one of the reasons why she like wears the bear pajamas and like all the cutesy kid stuff. In order to create that extreme like contrast between the other Lane and this Lane. But I guess a good question is like, which is the real Lane? Are they both just her? They're both real? Or did one only come about because of, you know, the Wired or essentially the internet? Always starting with the shot. Red. Humans are all alone. Are you sure about that? Voice correct. Religion. The girl who died did say in her email to Lane that God was here or something like that. We might get into it then. Jesus. What is this setup? Yeah, there's no way this is the Lane that we know. What's going on, Daddy-o? Do you know about this? But you're not gonna say anything. Sneaking a drink? How did what go? What do you mean? That was such a strange interaction. What? Okay, what are you running from? Imagine if Lane just walks up the stairs in her, like, bare outfit. It did look like a girl, though. Little girl? Why are you so scared? Is it somebody who's died? That's what I'm asking. Oh. She said that in English. Oh, God. This man could not open the lock for the life of him. To save his own life. Is everybody doing it for the same reason? This is not Lane. Arisu notices. What is that book? I can't read it, it's upside down. Yeah, she's changing. Mm-hmm. What is that smile? Arisa's gonna do some snooping around, I guess. The dead kids? Then I have to guess that all the people who, like, died wanted to live within the wired. Because even the first girl was also maybe talking about, like, how she wasn't noticed within this world. And maybe that comparison between, like, how she was treated in the wired and how she was treated here just made her want to live there forever. You need to do something, Arisu. Oh! What's the little girl from last time? No, not last time, it was the start of the episode. Who are you? What in the world? That couldn't have been a coincidence. What is she? Is our room inevitably going to be like in the ED, where there's just a bunch of like servers hooked up? Who are you, Lane? I don't think you would understand all of this just by reading a few books on it. In such a short amount of time. She gonna be hosting a rave? Wired? Phantoma? Did she just like, what, ask and then leave? Before he turned around? Oh god. Another incident. Same girl. Why are you running from her? Why does she scare you so much? What is she? The game? Wait, isn't that Lane? It is. This feels like one of those horror games where you had to run away from a monster in a maze. But this guy, he sees it as the game, but he's actually running around in the real world. Perhaps this is also like trying to show us that the wired and the real world are merging. Or maybe it's simply just his perception because he was hooked up to the wired. Yeah, this is what he sees. This is pretty nostalgic. I remember when games used to look like that. Well, not personally, but... PK? Player killer? Oh. I have a feeling that you're doing something horrible in the real world right now, sir. It's interesting how they're animating it without, like, having an actual gun in his hand. But I bet you he did something. Something that he's not going to be able to take back here. What's going on? And then there's Lane. Did she cause this? I know. She was trying to help him, right? She couldn't reach him. This is most certainly a look of sadness. Mm-hmm. I say that games used to look like this, but this also kind of looks a little bit like a Ultra Kill. It's a style. What is your goal? Are the two people who had like the lasers and the weird glasses from last episode, are they part of the Knights? They're after Lane? Yeah. You can very easily get lost in it. Who are you? Yeah, you knew what it was. No, you're not. At least not what you used to be. She wants to translate herself into the Wired? Just go full body VR into that shit? This background track. To me, that just sounds like a descent into madness. Religion. Knights? The concept that they exist? She's very clearly trying. Oh. Here they are. What are you guys trying to achieve? Hmm? What? What was that? Has she become so powerful that she's able to manipulate the real world? Through her Navi? On a voice command? What was that? Not psychic powers, right? I mean, Lain is pretty weird. Speaking of, like, the Lain that we used to know is kind of like Mob from Mob Psycho. Well, now we know Lain's goal, that she wants to fully immerse herself into the Wired. It looks like her father, while I did think he was kind of lost in the sauce from the first episode, he might be more cautious or more aware of the dangers of the Wired than the show suggested from the first episode. He came here to warn Lain to not get too much into it, but Lain is going full in. I wouldn't be surprised if Lain dies by the end of the season and kind of like, you know, survives or her soul gets transferred into the Wired somehow. What was up with that game and how it was affecting the guy who was like running around in the maze and or at least that's what he saw. In reality, he was running around on a rooftop and apparently he accidentally killed somebody, which I'm guessing was the vision of the girl that he saw in the game. Was that like the Wired actually appearing within the real world, or was that simply just more of a perception kind of thing that he perceived it to be that way because of something that was going on with him, or maybe the fact that he hooked himself up to the Wired, or just because he got too much into the game? Lain was also there. Apparently she wanted to help him, but she didn't do it in time or wasn't able to reach him. So does that mean that Lain wants to stop whatever is going on here, or is she just an observer, or is she a part of it? Then what about that whatever happened at the very beginning of the episode, where the guy was getting chased by the little girl who then showed up later on in the episode, and she like met Arisu? Was that just a hallucination? Was that the Wired, you know, being put in the real world? Or I have many questions, and I feel like I can't formulate a concrete answer, unfortunately. There is so much to the show, and I bet on retrospect, once you can connect the dots more easily and maybe take out a few notes, you know, the usual thing, the thing that I did with Spider, you could maybe try and figure something out here, but these are some really abstract concepts that they're presenting. And to be honest with you, I do enjoy how confused I am. And I hope that by the end of the show, I might not leave knowing full well like what I just witnessed, but I hope that I leave the show with, what's the word here? Contentment? A profound emotion to appreciate the experience of witnessing whatever this is? I don't know. Hard to describe. I can't really put it into words of what I want from the show or what I expect the show is going to give me, so I think it's just better that I shut up and watch the next episode. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.